Hey, welcome everybody. Hope you're all having a lovely day. I want to talk about hyphenated America and how I think it's wrong. What I mean by hyphenated America is that there are so many categories for the different types of Americans there are. I remember when I was traveling and I had traveled to India, and what was so cool was that when I got there, you had to check mark, where you're from, like what your ethnicity was, and the box was, they had all these different countries, and then the box was American. I loved that because it was just like, oh yeah, I'm American, and I was with some fellow friends, and that was the identity of who I am as far as the citizen of what country I come from. But the weird thing is, you get back to United States, and when you're filling out forms, you're filling it out, and when it comes to ethnicity, it's not just check mark you're American. It's which kind of American are you? Are you African American, Asian American, Indian American? There's so many different kinds of Americans that are out there, and I think subconsciously this kind of thinking divides people. And so when people look at me in America, rather than me being able to say, oh, I'm American, so many times I'm looked at and categorized by people just naturally assume to call me African American, which I want to change the language, and instead of calling me African American, I'm American. If we could do that with every hyphenated American out there, Asian American, Pacific Islander American, Indian American, Mexican American, Middle Eastern American, and instead just look at each other as all the citizens of the same country, we would, I think, carry each other's burdens more in our country. It wouldn't matter what kind of American you are. We wouldn't subconsciously be making these categories because there's a huge range of, for instance, I'll give you an example. The African American community is going through these issues, this, and this. Well, the African American community is large and vast. What somebody is going to go through in like the urban areas of the cities is going to be very different than someone who grows up in like a suburban neighborhood or a rural area. It's just different, and I think categorizing people by race and ethnicity really loses. It really doesn't capture like who a person is or what their challenges are in America. I get it for both, why a person would use these categories. When a lot of Americans, just for the sake of conversation, the history for their ancestors coming to America is through the slave trade. But rather than looking at that as African American history, I would look at that as just straight up American history. As Americans once enslaved people. We are a new identity as citizens of America. And my point is, I'm not trying to take away from, like, but from the struggles of each like the different the genesis of each culture group that adopted into American as a new American citizen, the melting pot in which I'm trying to express here. But yeah, like I'll give more examples. What happened to it when during World War II, when there were Americans that were placed in concentration camp, not concentration, but encampments, because they looked Japanese, but they're Americans. This is American history. There were Americans who were denied rights because of the color of their skin. These are Americans. As you can see, I'm trying to eliminate the hyphenated branding of America, the hyphenated American idea. In turn, I think it will help us really just focus on the real issues and start passing legislation that actually help people, help Americans in their circumstances, like farmer Americans or low-income Americans or wealthy Americans. I like that those adjectives. I think they're more descriptive in helping specific demographics of America. And I think, but it subconsciously will eliminate these cliques and cultures that we subconsciously make in our minds as people. So, was it Morgan Freeman? He said something along the lines of, how do you get rid of like racism or something like that? So some reporter, somebody asked him that. You could look it up. But he says, just don't acknowledge it. Like, if we continue acknowledging, like, if I respond to being referring to my color, then I'm going to keep people consciously or subconsciously thinking about hyphenated America rather than we're all on the same team. America, American citizens, we are all on the same team. So yeah, that's just, I just wanted to add this as food for thought to our American culture. But first and foremost, and even more importantly, my identity is that I'm a child of God and Jesus Christ is King. And here in my soul, in my body, I am a citizen of the United States, and I'm trying to figure out ways to make our country work more cohesively together. I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts, and I love you guys. Please subscribe. I try and put out a whole bunch of thought-provoking conversations, and I just like sharing anything that I'm learning. I love you guys. God bless. Thanks.